Hi, it's Sebastian Katz from AudioBro. You're loading modern scoring strings, and I want to save you a ton of time. Give me about 5 minutes, and we'll get you up and running just the way you want. The very first thing I do after installing any new Kontakt library is a batch resave. It's not technically necessary, but improves loading times. Here's how to do it. First, open Kontakt, and then from the Disk menu choose Batch Resave. You can ignore the warning message by clicking Yes, and then navigate to your library folder and click on Open. Then wait as Kontakt automatically resaves all the instruments in the library to speed up your loading times. This might be a good time to get a cup of coffee. Let's take a look at the library folder. There are the master instruments in the main instruments folder, and these contain all the Divisi sections and mic mixes. Notice that there are 3 violins instruments. The main violins instrument contains all 4 violin Divisi sections, 1A, 1B, 2A, and 2B. But there are also separate violins 1 and violins 2 patches if you prefer. Now there are also split Divisi sections which you can find here in the splits folder. These contain all the mic mixes but are just one Divisi section at a time. Finally, there's a full mix folder, which, like it sounds, contains just the full mixes and not the other mix channels. If you never plan on using the mics individually, these instruments are the way to go. Otherwise, use the main instruments. Once you load an instrument, make sure to check out the snapshots menu found here. These are basically presets for each instrument, and we use them to give you quick access to certain setups, like getting to a completely unprocessed and dry sound, or DAW integrations for those using articulation sets or expression maps. With that out of the way, let's look at Legato. If you're used to using other Legato instruments where you overlap notes to create legato transitions, take a look at the ensemble page. This Auto Divisi button is critical. When turned off, the legato works with overlaps, but when turned on, you are in polyphonic mode, and you have to leave a little space between your notes instead. This playing style allows for true polylegato and auto divisi, but it is a different playing style. You can watch our main legato video for more information, but put simply, if you want overlap style legato, keep this off. If you want polylegato, turn it on and don't overlap. Note that this button is also pre-assigned to MIDI CC30 and can be easily automated. Do you like our built-in reverbs? Great, skip ahead. Otherwise, you can turn them off by opening the mixer page and disabling the sends by clicking on them. Want to change the reverb type? There are a ton of presets here. Want to change the amount of reverb? Well, just open the sends and turn up or down the knobs. These buttons enable or disable other microphone positions. Next, let's consider dynamics. Everyone has their own way of doing things, and you'll want to change modern scoring strings to work the way that you're comfortable with. Open up the Dynamics panel by clicking here. If you want the main dynamics knob and CC to control all the dynamics in the library, use the CC mode. If you want your short notes to be controlled by your velocity, meaning how hard you play the notes, choose this option. If you want a middle ground where short notes use a combination of your dynamics and how hard you play, use the CC plus velocity mode. Now there is also a pure velocity mode that uses how hard you play for everything, but I strongly advise against it. Next, a lot of composers we know use another controller, CC11, to ride volume, this knob, in addition to dynamics. If that sounds like you, everything is already set up. If that sounds like too many controllers, here's what you can do. First, you can of course just use the single knob and not worry about it. But what if you do want more volume control without another controller? Well, you can use the Dynamics Link mode to tie the volume and dynamics together. Just click here and turn up the knob to the amount you want the big knob to affect the volume knob. Or take a look in the Dynamics Smoothing options. You can increase the volume range to put more volume power or less on the single dynamics knob. Key switches are down here. These two banks on the left change articulations. Notice the yellow bank is turned off. That's because it contains the most RAM-heavy articulations in the library, like ostinatos and scales. If you do want to use these, just click here and turn them on. And that brings up another important point: RAM management. Everything loaded into a key switch will be present in RAM, so by removing items from the key switches, you will also be removing them from RAM. For instance, if I want to use ostinatos but not scales, I can edit this key switch. First, I'll click here to open the switcher editor. When I remove the entry for ostinatos, my RAM automatically updates. For anyone inclined, this is also where you can completely customize your key switches as well. Alright, I think we made it. Definitely check out our longer comprehensive videos and manual if you want more details, but hopefully that helps you get started with the library and onto the fun parts. So happy music making. We'll see you in another video.